Hello, I'm Demi Utley, and today I want to talk to you about productivity and how you can actually write proposals a little bit faster. So I wanted to do a quick video on this because I have been asked a lot of questions of, okay, I have this RFP, I know what I need to pull together, but how do I actually write faster? It just takes so much time. So today I want to share with you a few of my productivity hacks that I use to make proposal writing just a little bit easier and a little less time consuming, so that way it's easier to hit those deadlines. So let's go ahead and dive in. Up first, we have developing your key points and your theme first. So before I ever actually open up a document or start drafting my proposal, I always make sure that I go through and I figure out exactly what it is that we want to say in the proposal. So by that, I mean, we're thinking about like, if the customer reads the proposal, what are the like 3 to 5 main things I want them to really remember when they walk away from this proposal? So those are normally our main win themes. So what I do then is I'll take those win themes and either group them together if there are some that are kind of similar, or for all of them, I'll go through and add some supporting points of evidence for how we actually meet those win themes. And then I have those in a document that I will use whenever I actually start drafting the proposal. So I have those and I know exactly what it is that we want to convey in our proposal before I ever even start writing. So it makes it a lot easier to really have customer focused content if I know what I'm doing before I even look at our boilerplate or anything like that. So for example, let's say that you're the incumbent on a contract or a project, and that's something that you really want to emphasize in your proposal. So what I would do is I would take this win theme and then I would say, okay, well, why is this a benefit and why do they care about this? And then we would go through and we'd list out those supporting points related to that. So maybe they have an account manager who they have a relationship with. They really love that person. They've had them for like 10 years or something. So that's something that's really important. Maybe we also save them $50,000, and that's really important for this customer. So that's something we want to include as well. So I'll do that for all of those points. And then when it comes time to actually write the proposal, then we're able to see, okay, where do these fit within our content and our overall structure, and then just kind of piece them in there. The next thing that I do to make proposal writing a little bit faster is I use existing content as a starting point. So if you've watched any of my videos or read any of my blog posts, you know I'm a huge advocate for having a good content library of boilerplate content. So what I do is after I have those win theme notes, I'll go through and take a look at our proposal and then just create a notes document of everything related to what we want to convey from those win themes, the questions that they're asking, any key points, and just have a document of all of these notes. They might be boilerplate content that I'm putting in there. It might be notes from a conversation with the sales team, from customer support, whoever it is. I'll just have a giant master notes document that I'm using to just kind of have all of my ideas in one place. That will make it a lot easier when I actually go to write the proposal. The next thing that I do is I go in and I actually create an outline before I ever start writing. So if it's an RFP, I will take a look at the RFP and then see, okay, these are the main sections that we need to have in our proposal. So I will move those over. Maybe I move over the questions. If it's not an RFP, then we'll come up with our outline there. And then I just have a general outline. And then from there, I will piece in from my notes document, those win themes, those boilerplate sections, any ideas or key points we want to emphasize, and I'll put all of those into the proposal. So that way I have something for pretty much every single section. I will say that sometimes if there is a section where maybe we don't have something and I have to write from scratch, that's when writer's block is most likely to kick in, because you're staring at the blank page, and that's just when it rears its head. So if I'm facing a round of writer's block, what I will do is I will actually just write in something. It could be even something silly. I might just say, write really good opening here, and then click enter on a new line and just keep writing. And then eventually I'm going to get to the actual content. Or maybe I say, okay, here are some notes. So I just like write down notes. They're not complete sentences. They don't make sense. And then I have something that I can go back and edit to make more cohesive and make it more like the rest of the proposal. So if you're facing that and you're really struggling, you're just staring at the blank page, just write something. And then eventually the right words will come out and you'll get to that place that you need to be. Another very important thing to do to make sure that you are writing your proposals as fast as you can is to eliminate distractions. So I'm assuming that when you're writing your proposal, you're doing it on your computer, which means you have access to the internet, you have access to email, social media, everything that could really distract you. So one thing that I do to combat distractions is I actually take my phone and I put it in another room if I'm working on something, or I'll put it out of reach. So that way I can't just reach over and grab my phone to distract myself. So that actually really helps. Normally just moving my phone helps a lot. But if you are still struggling, one thing that I do sometimes is I will say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I have to write for 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I have to just write for 15 minutes, or I have to finish the section or whatever it is. And I sit down and I do it. And normally by the end of the 15 minutes, I'm already in the state where I can keep going, and I'll write for another hour or two until I'm finished. Another option that you can do since you're on your computer is you can actually just maximize your window. So if you're in Word or Google Docs or something, make it so that way that specific application, I guess, takes up your entire screen. So you don't see your email, you don't see the other things that you could be working on. So it's really your sole focus. If you have multiple screens, maybe have your proposal on one screen, your notes on the other screen, and then don't have email open so you can see when email comes through, because that's the easiest way to get distracted. And also if you're able to turn off like notifications or set yourself to do not disturb, so that way no one messages you when you're really trying to get content done. Another thing that I do is I set a daily goal. So I will say, okay, today I have to complete, sections 1 and 2. Tomorrow I'm going to do 3 and 4. And then the last day I'm going to do section 5. So I'll go through and kind of plan that at the beginning of the week, or maybe even at the beginning of the project. And then each day I'll sit down and take a look at like, okay, this is exactly what I need to do today. I have to get this done. And it's just a really good, I guess, motivation to actually start writing, because if I have to get these sections done, I don't want to work late to finish them. So I need to start working right now. Last thing that I will say is just remember that it is just a draft. This is probably the best piece of writing advice I've gotten for no matter what kind of writing you're working on. Remember that it's a draft. So the first time that you put those words on the page, they're not going to be perfect. They don't have to be the final words that you send out to the customer. But just remember that as soon as you have something on the page, then you have something. So you're able to edit, revise, rewrite, and do all of those things that are a little bit easier than creating the first draft. So I'll just leave you on that note, because I want you to remember that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how fast you're writing, as long as you're creating a good proposal that's engaging for the customer and is going to persuade them to buy. But hopefully this will help you create proposals a little bit faster so you can focus on other things on your to-do list. Okay, that's all that I had for today. If you liked today's video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe for more proposal tips and tricks, and I will see you in the next video.